Good morning, MC here. Had a challenge from Bending Ballistics to do a cold bore one shot. Pick a distance. He picked 500 yards. He's got access to that. I don't. I've got 400 yards. So run the ballistics out using the Hornady Ballistics app on my phone for shooting this Hornady black box 6.5 Grendel 123 grain. Last time we were to the range, we did a little sight in with this. This was 50 yards, and it looks like I was running about 2 inches high at 50 yards. So we need to be about 3.9 inches high at 50 to drop into 0 at 400 using the bolt action Ruger American in 6.5 Grendel. I've got a Vortec Crossfire 2x7 scope on this. Probably I'll drag out my Bear Creek Grendel as well. That one is also holding a Vortex, but that is a 4x16. Center access is a little bit further. We're about 2.5 inches up on the center line of the AR style, and we're about 2¼ inches center line from the bore to the scope on the bolt action. So we'll go down range. We'll actually drive to the range, set up some target or something I can use to measure. Probably I'll drag this one back out here, make a mark up where I need to be, just sandbag my rifle, see which aiming point I need to come up with. If we can actually get in and see the reticle. Probably not. Anyways, we'll see what aiming point I need to use for almost 4 inches high at 50 yards. Should put me on 400. We've got steel plates already hanging down at 400 yards. So we'll get a camera looking at the plates. You should be able to see the plate wiggle if that gets hit. And we will accept that challenge. We'll splice this video together with one from the range. I believe Eagle Run might be giving a try to this challenge, as well as Ron Wayne. Got plenty of toys to take out. 243. We will drag that one out on the next one. For today, we've got some archery targets to set out. I'm going to pop up there this morning, move the skid loader around, help the guys with the archery targets, but drag the Grendels out for this cold bore challenge. See you shortly. Hey, MC Bear, we're back with you. It is 61 degrees. I don't know if that's cold enough for a cold bore challenge, but it's about 8:30 or so in the morning. Here's where we're going to be setting up. We have a pistol range way over there to the right. We have a pavilion with some benches here in the middle, and then on the right we have some benches with a little cover, which we need because it's starting to rain. So we've got a 50-yard berm there, 100 yards, 200 yards, and 400 yards. Let's roll down and see what 400 looks like. My off-road vehicle. Because I didn't bring enough snacks to walk a quarter mile and a quarter mile back. So we'll roll this off-road minivan downrange, check these steel plates, see how destroyed they are, because it's not AR 500 steel. It's just standard mild carbon steel. And it looked like last time I was here, somebody was punching holes with a 50 cal. Or something big anyway. So it's going to be needing some plate improvement. Oh, scared some deer. Sorry. Well, I'm going to scare them when I'm shooting anyway. Little white tail bopping around back and forth over there. Oh well, ruined somebody's morning nap. So this is 400 yards lasered to the bench, so we're actually a little bit beyond that. Let's pace it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 407. Let's see, 3 times 7, 14. Yeah, probably 315 yards. And you can see from the steel, people have been beating these things up. This one is probably 7-inch, 8-inch round. These are leftover cookies when we cut out flanges at work. This is the leftover part that we typically just toss. A little weld action with a bolt on the back, so that way when it hangs, it's hanging on a incline, and then also with the chains, it's got a little swivel action, so less likely to have any material jump back at you. Plus, it's a 1/4 mile back. We used to have some streamers up here so you could kind of look at the wind. Those are long gone. A-frame, otherwise, it doesn't look like too many bullet holes in it. You guys have been beating this stuff up. Apparently nobody knows how to do chain or bolt repairs. These have got some good holes in them. That's at least a 1/2-inch hole, so that stuff should probably be replaced. I left spare stuff here for them 3 years ago when I built all this contraption, but apparently nobody is clever or smart enough or ambitious enough to grab any of the spare plates and chain and re-rig the stuff. This was some thinner stuff, probably 18 gauge or so, but of course the 4x4 is broken down and nobody's bothered replacing that. I think this was the original steel gong I stuck out here quite some time ago. I've got a video, if you look way back, of my POF Revolution hitting this thing at this distance. That was 3 bullets on it, 155 grain ELDMs reloads. So, oh, let me pause this. I'll grab my tape measure. We'll measure up, see what the actual size of this plate is. All right, here we go, and that is 12 inches. I believe this one's about 12 also. Yep, 12. And they broke the bolt off that, so this one's hanging at some weird, stupid angle. We'll see if that one stays put enough. You'll know it when I hit it, if I hit it. So we'll roll back to the benches, set some gear up way back there. It looks like I gotta clean the camera lens because it's not focusing, or it's got water on it or something. Next up, bench video. So here is my original sight and target for this Grendel, the bolt action one anyway. We'll get this thing stapled up at 50 yards. I'm not going to shoot at 50 for my cold bore challenge, but I can use this as a reference, because if this is my 0, ink pen doesn't want to work. So we'll switch over to a marker. If this is my 0, we want to be 4 inches above that. Difficult juggling a phone, tape measure. There's 4. Mark. So this is what I want to find in my reticle at 50 yards. So if I put my crosshairs here, I know my bullets are going to hit here. So what I'm going to do is put my crosshairs here, and then in the tree that's inside of my reticle, I'll see what lines up with that. Then that, whatever my tree is, because I've got a crosshairs, this upright continues, then it kind of gets a little fatter, and then as you come down, it gets a little fatter, and then I've got some hash marks across here for aiming indexes. So we'll see which one lines up here at 50 yards. Like I said, I'm looking for that 4 inches high at 50 to give me a 400 yard 0. At least that's the way it works out in the ballistic calculator. Let's go see what happens. Let's see. Yeah, you can see 400 yards here, or 50 yards here, 200, and 400 is right out under my fingernail there. Those little white spots in the distance. Again, those are 12-inch steel plate targets. Ton of mosquitoes this morning. It's a light rain coming down. We'll go grab some gear out of the back of my mini truck, set up some rifles, and verify which crosshair I need to use. Alright, so what's in the range bag today? The Ron Wayne official no snacks. Somebody forgot to reload the snacks. We got the 6.5 Grendel. We've got a partial box in there. We've got some sandbags. So we'll throw those out. I think I got one other earplug fell maybe in here. There it is. We'll throw earplugs in as well as muffs because these roofs are nice, except they hold a boatload of sound. So when you're shooting under a covered pavilion, you will have a lot more echoing. Got glasses on the table already. We'll set maybe this up here. That might be a decent spot. We'll uncase the rifles. Throw my other earplug in while I'm at it. And we have mosquito bite behind the ear. Dirty little buggers. The Ruger American bolt action 6.5 Grendel 2x7 Crossfire 2 scope. And again, we're not going to shoot this immediately. We're just going to verify which hash marks on the scope we want to use to give us a 4-inch high at 50 yards. Should be a 0 at 400. So we'll have this one out, verify that. This other one is the Bear Creek AR-15 upper, 20-inch stainless steel. This one is a rear charging, but it's the slick sides. Arrow lower, another Vortex scope. This one I believe is zeroed just straight up zeroed for 50 yards. Was doing some testing with that, comparing this one to Uncle's gun, and I believe that's where I left this one at. So in this reticle, I'll need to see where 0 is and find a aiming hash mark for 400 yards. And then we'll move over to the far bench, set the cameras up, look downrange because you're going to want to see the targets move if I impact them. So we'll throw this one in on the side, scope caps off, and see which aiming mark I need to find. Got our Alexander Arms magazines because we found out in the last video that the one shipped with Ruger is not very dependable, to say the least. We do have guys coming out today supposed to be setting archery targets, so I'll see if we can get this video done before either I end up losing all my blood to these mosquitoes or I get rounded into the setup crew for archery. Let's spin this around and let me do some behind the scenes figuring out which mark I need and which way I gotta angle this camera stand so that we stay horizontal perspective. That's not too bad. Be right back. Hey, and if you guys haven't tried it, just for grins, try running a video through your scope. It is a lot harder than you would think it is. So anyway, with this crossfire, where the vertical line turns into the fat, larger line, that actually works out to be 4 inches high at 50 yards. And then if I put my center beam, right on my dead 0 hold, at my 4-inch high mark, it is the 3rd hash mark down. So it looks like my aiming point is going to be, well, it'd be the 4th, it'd be dead 0, and then be the 3rd line below dead 0. So that should be my aiming point at 400 yards to be zeroed. So we'll move over to the other bench, throw a round in, zoom this back out so it's not so annoying, and yeah, I should have grabbed some mosquito spray because them suckers are out. Well, shoot, here they are to set up archery targets. Maybe I'll get one round off quick.